Bards and Bardettes. Welcome back to iCast Vicious Mockery. I'm Austin.
And I'm Matt.
And today, this is a surprise topic. I'm going to just throw it at you right now. So,
Okay.
I have to tell you about how amazing something is here that we've got. For Christmas, Anna got a king-size heated blanket, which is on our couch.
Oh, yeah.
Downstairs.
I've seen this.
That's an amazing thing for if you live in a cold place, because you don't have to heat the whole house. You just heat your butt and back. But, whatever. It's great. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Additional side benefit. Basket threw up on it.
Okay.
No, wait. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second there. I know you're probably... don't worry about it. So she threw up on it, and we had to wash it. So after the wash, it smells like clean laundry. When you turn it on, it makes the house smell like clean laundry.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's such so good. One of the cool best things we've got in this house for sure.
Nice.
Definitely makes it a lot easier.
Thanks for throwing up on the blanket basket.
Exactly, yeah.
We would have never known.
Yeah, usually she just makes dog smells in the house, but this time she made a nice smell.
Mm-hmm. She does smell like a dog.
Yep.
That is for sure.
When she lays on it, she heats up, right? Like dogs, when they sleep, they like heat up just generally, and it makes them smell worse usually. But she catches the laundry smell now. So when she sleeps on it and heats up, she smells like laundry, which is extremely pleasant for a dog to smell like.
Yeah. Way more pleasant than what dogs usually smell like.
Absolutely. Yeah, usually she kind of smells like feet after she sleeps.
Man, talk about fringe benefits, huh?
Right. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode.
Fringe benefits.
Fringe benefits. Shoot, please tell me you have something prepared for that. Oh, shoot. Oh, no.
Okay. Well, the main discussion that we were going to jump into here was how to more accurately portray a martial artist.
Yes.
In D&D.
Right.
So,
well, how to portray it, and then maybe things you can adjust or feats you can add.
Right.
To allow for more possibilities, more rules that'll let you do it more
homebrew, if you will. Yeah, homebrew kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Austin and I are not D&D experts.
No.
But we are professional martial artists.
Yep.
So, we know a lot about it in general. We've trained for, you've trained for what?
18 years.
18 years? Yeah, 18 years. I've trained for about 15 years.
Yeah.
So we're discussing this briefly before the show, but we're going to get real into it, I think.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of things related to martial arts that are not fully represented. Well, I would say...
Where do you start as somebody who's not a martial artist?
Right.
Where would you go to first thinking, I want to be a martial artist in D&D?
Well, yeah, they lead you to believe monk is going to be the martial arts class, right?
But monk is more like a Dragon Ball Z person, right? Like it's more like an anime fighter. Kind of deal.
Yeah. Where
with the high speed attacks, multiple attacks at once. Eventually, things like energy projection. If you take what's that way of the sun, way of the
sun soul,
sun soul, yeah. So things like that.
Right.
And there are plenty of other cool things monks can do, but their biggest deal is that they have high dexterity.
Yeah.
Their dexterity is their armor class.
Right. And their attack bonus and things like that, right?
So they're very dexterity based, but some of the things in martial arts are not very dexterity based in D&D. And I'm talking about grappling.
Yeah. Yeah, grappling in martial arts can be...
Well, I think in real martial arts, is it dexterity based? It's probably actually more like intelligence based. It's probably more intelligence based
or wisdom based even.
Yeah,
because there's some there's some intuitiveness to it, because martial arts is really just about understanding leverage and human anatomy.
Yep.
You know, to the point where you can once you understand the principles of certain things, you can do a lot. You don't have to learn something to know how to do it necessarily at a certain point.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of, like, when you've reached the full level of knowledge that you'll reach in martial arts, you kind of express new techniques. You know, just whenever. You don't even think about using them. You just do use them, even though it's not maybe something that you've done. Now, I'm not saying that kind of spontaneity is like fully like possible for you could just come up with anything.
Right.
You need to continually increase your areas of experience in order to be able to do that in every situation. But the better you get, the easier it is to be spontaneous.
Right. Exactly. It's there's sort of the cyclical nature of it is sort of they you know, it's been said to me that to a beginner, a kick is a kick. You know, I kick them, right?
Yeah.
And then and then, you know, to a student,
you kicked him with what?
Yeah.
With my foot.
Yeah. What do you mean I kick? And to a student, you start to learn, oh, there's a lot of
you gotta learn how to front kick. You gotta learn a round kick. You gotta learn maegeri. That's what I forget the maegeri. That's front kick.
In what? I don't actually know.
Japanese. Mawashigeri is round kick. Urageri is back kick. Those kinds of things.
Right.
So you start learning Japanese because you're learning martial arts or whatever, stuff like that.
And it turns into this big complicated thing. But then to a master, a kick is a kick because you understand.
Like when you're throwing the kick, the path that your foot takes isn't controlled by I'm front kicking you. It's controlled by what's going to hit.
Right.
You know, and so sometimes it resembles a front kick because front kicks were created from observing that. And sometimes it resembles something that doesn't have a name because not all things have names.
Right, exactly. And the thing about martial arts is at a certain point, it's less about doing it right and more about did it work?
Yes. And that point is when you use it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, you know, that is something that kind of, I guess we can get into that with homebrew later.
Right.
With rules as written, and we could talk about that too, with how the rules work. Chuhari is something that I definitely want to talk about a little bit sometime. But with the rules as written, I'm thinking most grappling type stuff is going to be strength based because grappling is just a strength contest.
In D&D, yeah.
So if you're playing a monk, you might have trouble grappling. I feel like there is a monk, like I don't know all the stuff off the top of my head. I feel like there's a monk subclass that actually does give you some kind of grapply stuff. I know there are definitely feats like grappler,
right? Yeah, feats
that are helpful for that.
I don't know.
So definitely take those where you can.
Right. It's an under thought, I think, part of martial arts is grappling.
Right. And in D&D combat, like, okay, are you going to grapple, you know, a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Are you going to grapple like?
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that you can't grapple very well. But you know what would be pretty freaking sweet is when your character is super high level, they can grapple those things. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe.
If they like get it so good that they can just do that.
Yeah, because
sweet.
I think some races, or maybe it's a feat or something, but in some instances, I think that you can grapple things that are a size category above yours.
Yes. Yeah. That might be the grappler feat. Something gives you that. I remember seeing it.
All playable races are medium size, which means that you could grapple a large creature, which is big. I mean, that's a big
Yeah.
thing if you were to think in terms of actual real life scale.
Yeah, a large creature is like an ogre type size.
Right. Well, because a medium sized creature could be up to like 10 feet tall.
Right.
But a large creature could be up to like 25, 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
Something
exactly.
like that. Right?
So basically something as tall as a house.
Right.
Like not like, oh, it almost comes up to the top of this little tiny house, but like as big as a 2-story suburban home. Like straight up, like
yeah.
This thing is a house.
It is large.
Yeah. It's not as big as the full volume of a house, but as tall as one.
Right. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to fit it in any of the rooms in that house. We'll put it that way.
Exactly. So it's worth it maybe exploring a little bit. And you were talking about because Monk does a little bit of like unarmed sort of you get your hits get stronger as you level up, right?
Yeah, which is cool. That's all good stuff.
Right, exactly. But you mentioned using sort of a fighter sort of thing with their superiority dice to be able to do different kinds of things.
Yep.
Because a martial artist is not someone who just hits good.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
And that's kind of like a lot of what it comes down to with a monk is that their whole thing is that they can hit more times and hit harder as they level up.
Right.
And then they get cool other, they do like the key stuff is what makes monks so unique and is also not like real life martial arts stuff. It's not the same flavor, right?
Right.
So that's why I was thinking a fighter, I think Battle Master is the one who gets superiority dice and stuff. And that is a cool system. Just the superiority dice in general is a good system for martial arts techniques, like using a technique in battle, or just being able to hit harder by expending one of those dice. If you don't know how that works, here's how that works. When it's your well, not always when it's your turn. When you're doing an attack, you can choose to add one of your. You get a pool of dice, and they regenerate and whatever. But you get to roll an extra d8 and be like, all right, I do that much more damage. But situationally, you also get these maneuvers, and the maneuvers let you do stuff like riposte, where like if somebody goes to attack you and misses, it lets you hit them.
Right.
And you can use one of your dice, your superiority dice, as like a point counter. Basically, like you're spending a key point or like you're spending a spell slot. You just throw out that die, and then you can attack back as your reaction or stuff like that. And that is the kind of stuff that I'd be looking for.
Right.
And let's talk about some specific maneuvers. Maybe. What do you have any in mind? I'll start with a couple. Like you mentioned tripping earlier.
Right. Yeah. So I believe that's a Battle Master.
I think that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. You can under certain conditions you can spend a superiority die to cause them to make some sort of saving throw, and if they fail, they're knocked prone.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about the riposte that you talked about is that is a true opportunity attack that a martial artist would take.
Right.
Exactly. Like anybody could take when somebody runs away from you, that's a really obvious, easy opening, but martial artists are able to see finer openings and take advantage of them.
Right while someone's hitting you.
Right, exactly.
You might even take a hit just so you can hit them harder at the same time.
Right, exactly. That's one of the first lessons that we learn in martial arts is that the best time often to attack is right as someone is finished attacking you.
What is that called?
Is when they're most open.
In the Book of Five Rings, I think that one's just called Sen.
Sen?
Because there's Sen. And there's Sen no Sen, which is right after they attack, is a good time to attack. Then there's Sen no Sen, which is right after you hit after your follow-up attack is a good time to attack.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds almost laughable in its simplicity.
And it's entirely true.
It's totally true.
I've stampeded so many people
hmm
because once you hit them, they're like, "Oh, they hit me.
hmm
Oh, I got to react to that."
hmm
And then that's like the perfect time to get them again. And so you've seen me do this. I'll just hit somebody over and over and just chase them across the room, and they'll be like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no."
Right, right.
And that is, that's a thing. So that could even be one of the maneuvers. Maybe all three of those could be.
Yeah, like if
Right?
you.
So if they take an attack on you in melee range,
Mhm,
you get your sin, reaction,
mhm,
which just as long as they attacked you, you can try to hit them.
mhm.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, I like the idea too of spending a superiority dice because monks in particular get multiple attacks.
Yeah.
They can attack a lot.
Yeah. Fighters do get multiple as well, but
Right, but not as many. Yeah, not as many for fighters. I like the idea of if you hit with one of your attacks, you can spend a superiority dice to get advantage on the next one. Because you're sending a barrage and keeping them on their heels.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you described. I think that could be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an awesome maneuver. Love
Right.
it.
Right. And obviously it has to be with another melee attack or things. And one other thing I was thinking of too is that one of the big differences between monk and fighter is that often with a monk, it's better to use your bare hands than a weapon.
Yes.
Because
unless you use, there are certain like basic weapons,
right,
whatever those are called.
Because I know
Simple
for
weapons,
I know for Safed in particular, she's gonna punch way more often than she's gonna hit with her tonfa because you can I believe you can only do your you can only spend a key point for flurry of blows if you attacked with an unarmed strike for your action.
I see.
So you have to do an unarmed strike for your action to then be able to spend a key point to use your bonus action to make two more.
Which I guess that kind of is the sen no sen.
Right?
Yeah, like that. Right. That's what monks get the most right. I think that feels the most like martial arts. Is that kind of it's about finding more opportunities to attack.
And maybe it works, but I think because I think the tonfa, which is just a club in D&D rules, does the same damage as an unarmed strike. But given an opportunity, a martial artist would use a weapon because they're better.
Because they hit harder, yeah.
They hit harder.
They do, yeah.
Right. So I think maybe it makes sense to be able to attack more unarmed,
right,
but be able to hit harder armed. That gives you a little bit more, because for Safed, it's really no choice.
Right.
Like I'm always going to do the unarmed strike, but it would be more interesting if with more strikes, you get more opportunities to hit. Like the chances of actually hitting one of those times increases. But with a weapon, if you hit harder, the chances that you'll miss are like that you won't do any damage is greater.
Yeah.
But you'll do more if you actually do hit.
Right. Yeah.
That trade-off makes sense to me.
And I think that it would be cool if there was a way, like that, where you, where after you hit, you can somehow increase your chance of hitting again, and that's when you use the weapon or things like that.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Where like you can stun real quick and then step back and boom, just whip that tonfa around and slap them in the face with it, and that would do a lot of damage. Well, actually though, so it's funny because in actual combat, like if you're holding a weapon, you basically need to be using it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise the other person grabs onto it. You can't like hit somebody with your empty hand while you're holding nunchucks in your other hand, because they'll just take them.
Right.
They'll take them if they're stronger and everything like that. Right. In martial arts, we usually assume the other person will be stronger.
Right.
And so they would just take it. if you're using it, that's the only time they can't really take it.
Yeah,
if it's hitting them.
Right. They could try, but it's going to be a lot harder.
It'll be harder.
Right. And not only just that, but it really just doesn't make sense to hit somebody with your limbs if you have a weapon, because the weapon can almost definitely reach further.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the other, you can't let them get close enough because then they just grab it.
Right, exactly.
And you can't hit them.
I mean, maybe if they're already too close, then you can't hit them with the weapon because they're too close.
Yeah, exactly. You have no choice but to just play keep away and then try to knock them back.
Right, exactly. But in that instance, it's kind of...
That's where you hit them with the back elbow right in
right. It's like a moot point almost, because... Why did you let them get that close in the first place if you have a weapon?
Exactly, yeah.
And there's maybe multiple attackers.
It's like saying, all right, if it's the right time to hit them with your empty hand, you will.
Right, yeah.
Like, okay, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's the right time, then yes, it is the right time.
Yeah, our flow chart is, do you have a weapon? Yes, hit them with it. No, don't hit them with it.
Yes.
Right.
But can your weapon reach, I guess?
Right. Yes. Can you?
Yes. Hit them with it. No. Throw it. End them rightly.
Throw it. Just throw it. Oh man, that's great.
No. Okay. We'll digress for a second. You're gonna have to go to the YouTube channel Scholagrim. I forget if there's another A in there or not right now. But he goes over historical European martial arts.
Okay.
So he like reads old manuals of sword fighting and stuff like that. And in one of them, there was a technique called end them rightly or end him rightly or whatever. And it was this. You take your sword, still in its sheath.
Okay.
You unscrew the pommel off the back and you throw it at them. No, maybe the sword's unsheathed. Anyway, you throw the pommel at them and then you cut them with your sword. All
right. Why do you throw the pommel? Just to distract them?
Right? I don't know. Yes, I guess it distracts them.
I mean, it can be distract. Yeah, that's pretty distracting.
It's like
I'd say.
Joke technique was included in it.
Yeah,
which is definitely, I guess, something that I would do. So I understand.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And you know what? To that, let's be even more clear, because this might not occur to everybody, but martial arts literally just means the military arts. It's the art of fighting.
Yeah.
So
in other languages, they call them different things.
Right.
But
that's true.
We'll go with the English one for now.
Right. Exactly. So that not all, like far from all martial arts come from Asia. Those are the ones that people think of, like karate, taekwondo, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, those kinds of things. But martial arts can be from anywhere. Boxing is a martial art.
Yeah, literally anything that you do that involves hitting people.
Right, exactly.
or shooting them. Hitting them with a weapon.
Yeah.
I guess that's still hitting.
Right.
Slicing counts though too. Stabbing counts.
General violence. It all counts. Some people even consider something like parkour to be a martial art because it's the art of evasion, and running away is a valid and sometimes necessary strategy.
Yeah, and I guess if you can find just like with anything in martial arts, if you can find opportunities that other people cannot take, that's a good advantage. In parkour, I mean, let's be real. If you're good at parkour, you can move in ways people cannot.
Right, exactly. You can use your environment to your advantage in ways that other people can't. Yeah.
You could tic-tac up the alleyway and escape off a roof and whatever.
Right, and they're like, how did he just get 15 feet in the air? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's cool
right.
stuff.
Right.
Anyway, so fighters.
Yeah.
So I love the fighter as a good base for your martial artist.
Right. And potential, I don't know if multi-classing would do anything, but a multi-class monk fighter might be right.
Now you're relying on strength and dexterity then. So you're in, you got to make sure you rolled okay. But at the same time, patient people always roll okay. And if you're a martial artist, you're a patient person.
Yes.
You're always waiting for the right opportunity.
Right.
So yeah, I do. Or you cheat and do a dice rolling simulation 100,000 times or whatever.
I think that maybe even some people might argue that, like, well, some of the best fighters are really aggressive and impatient almost, and they like go after it really hard. But I think that a lot of the really good fighters that are patient and take those values, they just don't do professional fights.
Well, that's true too. But I think the other thing is that the professional fighters who might seem impatient and aggressive and all that kind of stuff, like when it comes to their actual fighting, I think you find that they actually are patient. Because they don't waste energy on attacks that aren't going to do damage.
Right.
If they're winning, it's because they just hit when they can, when they know it's a good chance.
Yeah, when they know it's a good move.
Right. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Your move.
Yeah.
You think Yu-Gi-Oh is a martial art?
I do think Yu-Gi-Oh is a martial art.
Okay. Cool. Me too.
There's a reason. I mean, yeah, there's a reason.
It is called a duel.
It is called a duel. Let's be real. You guys, leave us a little comment in the chat. Say something in the chat. Tell us, is Yu-Gi-Oh a martial art? Yes, no, why? I want to know your response there. And if you think it's not, I'll duel you. Then we'll see. I'm so bad at Yu-Gi-Oh.
Dude, you're going right to the Shadow Realm, man.
Oh, shoot. All right, so what about if your fighter sends people to the Shadow Realm when they lose in a game?
Oh, yeah. Did I tell you about the anime one-shot that I wanted to do?
Yes.
I did. Yeah, on the show, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that would happen in that game that I want to run. Because you know how in D&D rounds are like 6 seconds? I think that rounds in the game that I want to run are going to be more like 30 seconds or so, because that's how anime goes.
Right.
So
it's much longer.
Yeah. So like a duel would be like, I see that you've, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, because I want all the characters to have time to yell their special moves.
Listen to this for just a second.
Okay.
What if you get into a battle?
Okay.
In D&D.
All right.
We roll for initiative.
Sure.
And it's a card game.
Yeah, you might see stuff like
There's
that.
There's got to be systems out there like that. Is that it's a thing, isn't it? It's got to be. What is it? What's it called, guys?
I found oh, you mean like the combat is like a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just or even so we'll start with any cards being involved. And then we'll work our way up from there. Whatever you can tell me. I want to know.
Yeah. I found a homebrew. You see, I didn't talk about this homebrew on the show because I wanted to use it in the campaign.
Oh, no, you can keep it quiet.
But I'll just, all I will say is that there's a really awesome homebrew subclass that I found that works like that.
Oh, cool.
Where in combat, you have a deck of playing cards and what you draw determines what you can do.
Okay, so yes, oh my God, I like that a lot.
It's really cool.
Yeah, is it like a bard subclass?
Yes, it is. How did you know?
Because bards are lucky.
Yeah, they get all the cool stuff.
Yeah, all right. No. All right, so fighters, though, the issue with them is that they cannot fight empty-handed. Like if you're a battle master, I think you might even specialize in a weapon as part of your deal.
Yes, yeah. For fighters, unarmed strikes do a base...
It's like 1d4.
1d4 is actually like
1d6
somebody who is trained in unarmed fighting is 1d4.
Oh, they just do a base damage number, isn't it?
It's your strength modifier. That's how much damage you do when you do an unarmed strike normally.
Which is not good. So
right.
So we'll need to add something to make an actual martial artist subclass or archetype, basically. But The other thing that called out to me was barbarians because of frenzy.
Yeah, raging and such. Yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, frenzy.
Well, frenzy
frenzies.
rage. That's a berserker barbarian thing. They
Yeah.
frenzy rage. Yeah. But I know what you mean.
So when they rage, they get advantage with strength related stuff.
Yes.
That means that they can grapple good.
Mhm.
They can grapple real good.
Yes.
So if you're making your martial artist character, you need to rage. You need to. because all right, so here's the archetype that I want to try to squeeze out of the rules. I want to make that ground and pound game.
The ground and pound game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want my character to take somebody down, grapple them down. So they're, this character is on top, and then hit them, and then that's it.
Yeah. That's a really, good strategy. If you look at like something as barbaric as like a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, if you've seen videos of people just getting into fights on the street, like untrained people, that's often how it ends up. Somebody falls over, and then the other person gets on top of them and just wails on them.
Yep, and it's literally the same attack every time. It is left hand posts on the person on the ground. Right hand swings repeatedly at their head in a random fashion.
Right, just
like it's technically you could call it a punch, but if you look at their hand afterward, you won't know that they punched somebody. It'll look like they ran it through a blender.
Yeah. I mean, because they're going to hit the pavement sometimes.
Yep. But and it's just that like it doesn't matter. Like when they hit, it's really interesting because they swing like an orangutan slapping somebody.
Right. It's like an arcing motion.
Right. Or chimpanzee, I should say, because they do that more. Yeah. It's like this arcing motion, and they hit with the front of their
fist. Yeah, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. So, you get all these broken fingers, but guess what? The other person's like, ow, you hit my head 15 times. I guess I'm done.
Yeah. I guess I'm either unconscious or giving up.
Yeah. Like I can't move. So you can just hit me more if I don't give up. So basically it's just a battle to see what holds out longer, this dude on the bottom's brain or the dude on the top's hand. And in the heat of the moment, it's the hand.
Yeah.
The hand lasts longer.
Right.
You're not going to feel that it's broken until you're done.
And again, maybe you can't do this to like a beholder. But
there might be some ways when we get to the homebrew part of this
maybe
deal.
Maybe. Well, they
might find cool ways to do that. Well, I guess a beholder doesn't have any joints or anything to leverage eyes, but they have their eye stalks.
They have hover, which means they are immune to the prone condition, which means they can't be knocked over. But you can
there are other ways to restrain somebody.
That's true. They can be restrained. They just can't be knocked prone. I think. Well, maybe there's another thing where they can't be restrained, but I don't know. I'm not a beholder expert. I don't know everything about them, but
I feel like with a martial artist too, like they're just gonna hit the beholders in the eyes. They're just gonna hit them. They'll be able to like kick, like, oh, you're trying to do a spell on me? Blah. Nope. I kicked the eye away. The cone went a different direction.
Yeah, like doing a reaction if you're in melee or something. Yeah. Though, at the same time, you got to sort of be careful not to give them too much cool stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise it is.
Yeah. Otherwise
unbalanced.
It's just it's putting something too strong into the game. So yeah, you do want to keep an eye on balance. I think if you just use the stuff that's there and you make the best, like whatever type of martial artist archetype. Now that you have some maybe other ideas from, pulling from fighter and pulling from, because you can grab those maneuvers and then be a monk for the rest of your life, and then just be like, all right, I'm going to riposte. And then on my turn, I'm going to flurry of blows you. And I like that. That's cool.
For sure.
You'll get some fun, cool stuff that way. And so you could, you just want to, you got to find this stuff. You got to find it. I feel like there are other, so when you get into too many multi-classes, it's really hard to get the stats for it. But also if you like, you don't need to care all the time about your stats.
Right.
But I feel like there are other things, other classes that, like, I feel like what's that, Ranger with something like Hunter's Mark. No, not Hunter's Mark. What's the other thing? The thing where, like, if you're familiar with that type of creature, it makes you better at hitting it.
Favored enemy.
Favorite enemy. Yep.
Yeah.
If your favorite enemy is a human.
Yeah, humanoid. Yep, that's an option.
Yep. Then there you go. Like, now you can get an advantage, or you get plus like a D4.
Yeah, there's something.
You get a bonus.
I don't know. There's a bonus.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a martial artist, yeah, you should probably know more about hurting humans, because that's who that's who I imagine you train on the most.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the whole deal. Like, you're just not that useful with fighting creatures.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that there's a humanoid category, and the way it works is you either pick one category of creature, like aberration or something, or you pick two subsection of humanoid. So you can pick two. So you could pick like literally humans and then like elves or something. Right?
It would just be whoever you train against the most. But then, like, anytime you fight one of those, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know what's up here.
I know their tricks.
I think I can handle this guy.
My beard hit the mic. I wonder what that's going to sound like.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Maybe nothing.
You never know if you don't go. So
you never shine if you don't glow.
Now let's talk about this new monk subclass
that we've created.
All right. So
yeah,
we're going to take away the key points, sort of.
You sure?
And exchange it with key points, but you use them for maneuvers.
So sort of like superiority die.
We don't need the superiority die for hitting harder anymore, because monks hit harder as they level up anyway.
Right. We're good.
What we do need to do, though, is figure out what kind of maneuvers you're allowed to use. Now, one thing I was thinking is that grappling is so one-dimensional in D&D 5th edition, which is totally fine for normal combat where you're using weapons and all that stuff. Oh, I did recently see a fun historical European martial arts video. That's usually called HEMA, but I don't want to just say HEMA every time and leave people not clued in. But these dudes were fighting in a tournament, and it turns out that you're allowed to do takedowns. So the one dude came in to do a pommel smash on the guy's head. The pommel's the butt of the sword.
Or the heel, if you prefer that terminology.
It's the bottom part of the handle. So he came in to do a pommel smash, and the other guy was like, no. And he just dropped his sword, ducked under the pommel smash, and picked the guy up and slammed him.
Yeah. And you know what? That armor is heavy.
Yeah. So. Yeah. They were using practice weapons. So they used like more of a fencing type armor.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too, I mean, maybe it's 20 pounds of armor. God, I wonder if that could even be, if that kind of a maneuver could be done in a full, because there are fighting leagues now where they wear full European style plate armor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Plate armor is expensive.
Yeah. And they fight with weapons. I believe the swords are blunted so they don't cut each other's heads off.
Yeah.
But which also kind of makes it so the shields are the better weapon. Because you can't blunt a shield more to make it less damaging. So now it like really hurts them. I'm not saying you should participate in one of those leagues or anything, guys. Just stay, we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, I'd be very interested to see what kind of takedowns and stuff work on somebody with that much armor on,
Yeah. Well, you'd have to be strong enough.
Yeah.
Because leverage only works so much. You do have to be strong enough to do certain things. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and perfect leverage in a takedown works perfectly, but you're never at the ideal. You're always using your strength to adjust to it.
Yes, yeah, to adjust to the ideal circumstance. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you were perfect at martial arts and the other person was at zero ability, you would always do a perfect technique, and it would never, you'd never use any strength.
Right, like a baby.
Yeah.
Like it would work on a baby.
Yeah.
Hey, I brought
armored baby though.
Ooh.
Are they too heavy? My 80-pound baby.
Okay, I brought up the maneuvers. That's what I was doing.
Awesome. Okay.
So we can kind of decide if any of these would work with like a martial arts type character.
There are some really cool ones.
Ambush. When you make a stealth check or initiative roll, you can expend a superiority die and add it to the roll.
Nope.
No, yeah, probably not. When you're within 5 feet of a creature, you can switch places with them.
That's really cool. I don't know if it's martial arts.
Yeah, it reminds me of an Avatar: The Last Airbender when he would like stand behind Zuko and move with him.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, some bagua.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds martial arts like to me.
All right, I'll take it. Brace.
You use your reach. Yeah, you can use your reaction.
Weapon you're wielding. You can use your reaction
to make one attack.
It gives you an attack of opportunity
when they come into
your range.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Commander's Strike. That's a fun one. You can.
Oh,
do you see what it's doing?
Yeah,
that one's not a martial arts thing.
No, it isn't.
You get to use your second attack as a bonus action for somebody else, and make them attack.
And you have somebody else attack, right?
Which is pretty interesting, but it's not a martial arts thing.
That's really nice if you have a barbarian in your party. Give them another attack on something.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Because it has to be a melee attack.
Yeah. Commanding presence.
Make a charisma or an intimidation performance persuasion check.
It's just adding a superiority die to charisma stuff.
Yeah, no.
Not strictly not martial arts, but also not.
Maybe if you wanted to
it's not a physical martial arts technique. So
let's leave that out. If you wanted to play Bruce Lee, then maybe that would be the one.
Yeah.
Disarming attack, though, I think that
definitely
that would be a martial arts thing. Make him drop a weapon.
Yep. Distracting strike.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you hit them, you can distract them, which lets you. Oh, maybe that's the exact thing. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll. Oh, the next attack against the target by an attacker other than you has advantage. Maybe not then. So it gives somebody else advantage on hitting that creature next. Which is, I guess, something. Yeah, you could do that, but it doesn't feel like a specifically. See, I guess technically it is martial arts, and commanding strike would be as well if you include all martial things, including command over a battlefield, right? Like actual,
Yeah.
But I think the definition of martial art is slightly more narrow than that in English.
Yes.
Like it's not technically more narrow than that. I think the connotation is, though, a little bit.
Because I think martial arts is about you and not others generally.
Yep.
It's about what you can do with your power.
Yeah, that's typically what people mean when they say they do martial arts.
Right.
Not strictly what it means.
Yeah. If somebody goes to what's that college in if somebody goes to West Point and they become a commander, they don't say that they train in martial arts.
In college. Right, exactly.
Yeah. So okay, but evasive footwork sounds like it might be on par with what we're looking at.
When you move, you can expend rolling the number.
You
increase your AC while you're moving.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's you're good at fighting, so you know how to move to not get hit.
Yeah.
While you're moving around. That's cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Feinting attack.
You can do a feint. Yeah. Feints are definitely a martial arts thing. This is the one where you have advantage on your next attack.
Yep.
Against that creature.
That one makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goading attack.
Yeah. Getting somebody to hit you. Grappling strike.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. This
Yep.
is
we need grappling strike. That
perfect.
lets you grapple.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. Lunging attack.
Increasing
where you
your
hit their lungs.
reach.
Increases your
that's
lung capacity.
That's basically like when
lunging.
when you move in strike and then move back out again for just one quick motion.
Yep. Big
that's a
big deal in martial arts.
That's a big time thing.
Maneuvering attack. Can that be called that? These are all called maneuvers, and then this one's called maneuvering attack. How can they do that?
Who
could live with themselves having done this?
I'm looking at you, Gary Gygax.
Gary Gygax.
Oh man, that name's just fun to say.
I love it.
More.
Oh, guys, we love Gary Gygax. Come on, just so you know. I know you can't see our facial expressions when we're joking like that.
Okay, so this is saying you use your die to let somebody else move.
Okay, so and specifically when you hit, it's like, I'm hitting. This is creating the opening for you to go over here.
Yeah, they can use their reaction to move up to half its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Yeah, it's literally like get out of here.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll hold him off.
Right. Yeah. This is the I'll hold him off move. Menacing. Maybe that one's iffy to me.
Menacing attack?
No, maneuvering.
Oh,
attack.
Yeah. I mean, that's really that's a psychological skill, not a strictly fighting skill.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The ability to like call the attention onto yourself.
Attempt to frighten them.
No.
Nah, probably not. Parrying though. Reduce the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Precision.
Precise.
It's just, hey, you can just use your superiority die to roll and add to your attack.
Yeah, that makes
you can hit more.
You
often
hit. Yeah.
That's perfectly acceptable. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Pushing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we push. Sometimes we push.
You can expend to drive them back. Yep. If they're large or smaller, even. Wow. They make a strength saving throw.
Yeah.
You push them up to 15 feet away.
That's a lot. That's far away.
Most if you push a human 15 feet, well, you can't. They'd fall over.
Yeah.
They fall over long before 15 feet.
Yeah.
The most I've ever gotten somebody to actually get pushed back is like, I guess you might consider it like almost 15 feet, but that's only because their head ended up 15 feet away from me.
Because they fell over.
So it's like,
Yeah.
It was really more like 10 feet
Mhm.
at most, but I think it was less. It was more like they went 6 feet back and their head ended up almost another 6 feet back.
Right. Generally, people aren't going to stumble 15 feet back.
Right.
If you lifted them up and threw them 15 feet back, maybe.
And I guess at some point your fighter can do. I would love that if you got up to the big bad, and they're like a normal humanoid sized creature,
Mhm.
and your fighter goes up to them and is like, they're like trying to cast spells on him, and you're like, the other party members are warding the spells away and whatever,
Mhm.
and the fighter just goes up and is like, nope, and freaking chucks them. Oh, that'd be so fun.
Just chucks them.
Just like slams, like just splats them into a wall or something. I would look like their throne is back behind them, and they're like, all, oh, you think you're so clever coming to here, and you think you can defeat me? And then you walk up and you're like, and you bowl them through it.
Oh, dude, if you want to be Naruto, quick toss, man.
What's that?
Bonus action, make a ranged attack with a weapon that has the thrown property. Throw that kunai right at him.
Yeah. If you hit
If
at
you
the superiority die
to the damage roll. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Rally sounds like a fighty thing that's not martial arts.
Riposte is a really good one.
Yeah, riposte is great.
When a creature misses you, you can melee attack back.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, sweeping attack. I think this is the one where they make a save and are knocked prone.
Nope. This is the one
No.
where you can hit another creature.
Oh,
Nearby.
yeah, you can hit more than one creature.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, nice.
Tactical assessment. It just gives you bonuses on intelligence.
On intelligence checks to assess a
Nope.
situation. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's useful in some instances.
Mhm.
There we go. Trip attack. Adds the die to the damage roll,
Mhm.
and it makes a strength saving throw, or it's knocked prone.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think maybe a dexterity saving throw would be appropriate as well, but maybe it depends on the creature.
Yeah, because when you knock somebody over, you're not contesting against their strength.
Yeah, you're not like because if you do that, they'll always win.
Yeah,
because you're fighting legs.
right, and they're the strongest muscles in your body.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not gonna beat that. But what you're doing is you're making it so like at the exact moment when you go to throw them, you are the one with control over where their weight is.
Right, exactly. Just understanding how tripping somebody really works.
Mhm.
Yeah, dexterity saving throw makes way more sense than a strength saving throw.
Yeah, so
that's all of them, though.
That's all. Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in there.
It
Guys.
is.
Get your martial artists some fighter levels.
Right, because a lot of people I think look at fighter and they're like, that's like the beginner, somebody who's never played D&D milk toast.
And it is
thing, and it is,
and there's a reason for that, and it's because it's so like each move is like, in this condition you can do this,
right,
and in this condition you can do this, and it's awesome because you can cover a lot of conditions that way,
right,
and it just gives you a lot of cool it's almost more like it's teaching you what to look out for on the battlefield in D&D. Right, it's not like you're learning like, oh, I gotta know what all these 50 million spells do. You're just like seeing, okay, so they can try to grapple me. They can, try to come in and out of my melee range. Like I'm learning all this positioning stuff.
Right.
Like that's awesome. That's really good.
It's like the D&D tutorial.
It really is.
It is what it feels like to me.
Yeah. Once you play a fighter for a little while, you'll be like, you'll for the combat stuff at least, you'll get it. You'll be like, all right, I know how, like where I can move and how I can do all this stuff. A lot of other characters are not going to feel as capable as your fighter. And you're going to have to be more careful with how you move them and how, like what actions they use. Because the fighter, if you move them wrong, use your maneuvers, you'll be okay.
Right, exactly.
Or at least for the battle master. I don't know if that's all
right
fighters even, but
yeah. Like if it's your first time playing D&D, maybe don't play a rune knight.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Fighter,
yeah, that's the attempt to complicate a fighter,
right?
Which is fine. Maybe you just maybe you love that style of gameplay where you're just like, look, you got your feelers out there, you're just ready for something to go down.
Yeah. So I guess the moral of the story is like, if you feel like combat really drags or feels always like really samey and you always do the same thing no matter what, maybe try playing a fighter because they can do a lot of different stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, fighters, they're pretty cool with that. I don't know too much about barbarians yet. I'm gonna have to get more into that and see how they feel.
I guess I don't either. I think that maybe they feel really good because they hit hard, and it feels good to roll those D12s and be like, oh yeah,
to be pretty reliable at the damage output and stuff,
right?
Because you're gonna have a high bonus to hit a lot of the time, or things like that. So that might be and plus you can take a hit, right? Like you're gonna walk in there, you might take 50 damage and you're like, I'm all right, whereas your poor artificer who should have high constitution but doesn't would take 50 damage and be almost instantly dead.
Not even just unconscious.
Yeah.
Huh. Who's that artificer?
56, by the way, would instantly kill him from full health.
Really?
I think that's how it works, right? If you get hit, if it doubles your whole total hit points,
yes,
you're killed.
Yeah, so take the hit points, take your max. If you're at max hit points, double that number, and if you take that much damage, you're dead.
Yes. Okay. Yes. 56, which is not like it's not unfeasible that something will hit him that hard.
His max hit points are only 28?
28.
No
He
way.
has 10 constitution. He has a +0.
And that translates to 28?
I think that's what it is.
Doesn't-
it might have gone up. I can't remember right now.
Doesn't Marty have like 55 hit points? I'm pretty sure he does. How does he
Yes,
almost
55.
How
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do know that it's 28 because I remember that message I sent you now. On a scale from 1 to 28, how compatible is Liam with the, what's that thing called? I forget the name of that creature.
the Lamia?
Yeah, Lamia, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just asking how much damage he would take from it. But
I don't know if he's willing to be a slave to a monstrosity, then
sounds like 0 damage to me.
yeah.
Sounds like you can just do that whenever you want. I think, well, they're shapeshifters though too, so like
yeah, they can. Yeah,
they could be compatible with it.
I think they can disguise self at will.
Oh, can they polymorph or anything?
Yes, but not at will.
I'll take it. I
think
guess
twice
I don't
a
have
day,
to
I
ask.
don't
Like
know.
at some point in the campaign, I don't have to ask anymore if Liam is compatible with it because somebody can polymorph him.
I guess so. That's a really interesting way to look at things. Well, can they? I mean, I don't know if sorcerers can learn it, and I know clerics have it as a spell they can prepare, but we don't have any clerics. I don't think warlocks learn it.
You know who might?
Do artificers? No, because artificers
no,
don't
you're
get
right.
very high spell slots.
Just up to level 5.
Right. And I think polymorph is
regular polymorph is 5.
4, 5.
I think.
So maybe artificers get access to it, but not until high levels.
They unlock their 5th level spells a little bit earlier than you'd expect, I think.
Oh, really?
It's not like around level 20. It's like 16.
Still,
I mean, that's pretty high.
It's
yeah.
a long way to go.
I think at level 12 is when they start to get like really fun and like have like suddenly it feels like you have all your options open. I think 15 is when you can do 2 Eldritch cannons, or maybe that's 20. I can't remember, but one of those two. I think it's 15. So for a lot of the time, you get to go in and shoot 2 flamethrowers off your barbarian's shoulders.
And yeah, because certain classes get their cool thing. I mean, every class has like a thing that you're like, I want to be able to do that. And it's different for all of them. Like some of them, it could be as low as like level 15, or it could be as high as 20. Like
well, and that's what it used to be like in the original, like 1st edition, 2nd edition stuff. I don't know which one this is the case in necessarily because I haven't really read the rules, but this is what I've heard and what I've seen a little bit of is that like wizards used to be really weak at low levels, and then because they got their spells, they became stronger. So the weakness is their lack of hit points. So immediately they're very vulnerable, and they don't really have anything they can do about it. But then when you get 9th level spells, you're looking pretty snazzy. Nothing's really gonna get you anymore. And whereas like a fighter is kind of the opposite. They're they've got a lot more constitution. They're gonna take more hits. Later on, they don't get as many cool abilities. Yeah. And just people like different play styles.
Right. It's like how when you start a game of Dark Souls or something, you can choose your starting equipment.
Kingdom Hearts, that's the best one.
Oh yeah,
because they like make you choose the different difficulty curves.
Right. Exactly.
Using a little personality quiz or whatever. And and when I was a kid, I didn't really understand that. I looked it up later so that I could play it on like the hardest difficulty. Right.
But yeah, actually that it affects the leveling curve.
It does, exactly.
Like whether you level up faster at the beginning and not as fast later, or slower at the beginning but then faster later, or you get the even keel option, right? Yeah, that is Kingdom Hearts is a surprisingly like cool, innovative, like well-made game.
Yeah.
I really liked Kingdom Hearts 2. Personally, that's probably my favorite.
We got a couple minutes left on the podcast. Do you want to tell us the whole story of all the Kingdom Hearts games, please?
Sure. Yes. So there's these things called Heartless, and do we only have a couple minutes left?
No, actually, I don't know how long we recorded before the episode started.
Neither do I. I have homebrew though.
Ooh.
And it's well, I'll tell you now, it's gonna, well, I don't know how much conversation it'll lead to, but it's pretty substantial.
All right, tell me about this thing.
Okay, I'll pull it up. This is a hybrid race making thing where it has dominant and recessive traits for different races.
Yes. Oh my God.
So you can Punnett square.
Oh my God.
A hybrid race.
Oh my God. Dude, this is the nerdiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, who did this? Who made this?
Oh, this is Cuttlefish Warrior.
Cuttlefish Warrior, listen to me. Listen to me. I know we've talked about this on the podcast. You haven't heard it yet because this is the first time you're hearing me. I know. But I love this. I know I sound sarcastic. I mean it though. I 100% am being frank with you.
He does.
Right.
He means it. I can tell.
Yes.
I'm starting to get it, I think.
Right.
So I sometimes can't, but this time I know he's being serious.
Yes. I just sound sarcastic no matter what I say. It can't be helped. Whatever.
Right.
I really do legitimately. I haven't heard how it works yet. I do love it already.
Okay, so I believe this lists out all races and sub races.
Oh my God.
Like everything.
Oh my God.
And
so what does it do? Is it doing stuff like physical attributes as well as like feats and like class features?
Yeah, well, not feats because those are things that you choose outside of race.
Sorry, class features is what I.
Right. Well, not class features either because
race features.
Yes, racial traits.
Whatever the racial ones are called.
Racial traits. Yeah. So like the first, it's in alphabetical order. So Aarakocra is first. And so it has dominant traits of +2 dexterity, 25-foot base speed, and flight. Those are its dominant traits. And then its recessive traits are +1 wisdom and talons, right? Which all affect mechanics in the game. Like
what about the whole fear thing? The fear of being
enclosed. It doesn't say anything about that.
Okay, so we'll work on it. We'll work on it with you.
But I think that's tied to their ability to fly. So
okay,
right, because
so if you get one, you get the other.
Right, exactly. Right. I think it's
okay,
which makes sense, right? In some ways.
So this, by the way, the other thing I love about this is that now I don't have to ask if Liam is physically compatible with all of these things.
Do you want to look at human and fire genasi?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
Human. Do you have human? Oh, okay. It's just. Oh, okay. Sorry, okay. Here we go. Human. Liam's just a human, right?
Yep.
Okay. Dominant traits, +1 to 4 ability scores of your choice instead of +1 to all of them. And recessive trait +1 to 2 ability scores of your choice. That's it. Because that's all that humans get, really.
Yeah.
Is you get +1 to all your ability scores. Variant humans do get to pick between feats and stuff.
Oh, he might be a variant human, actually.
Okay, so his dominant traits are a feat and a skill, and his recessive trait is +1 to 2 ability scores.
Yeah, he might be a variant human. I can't remember. He's a mark of making human. Is that a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a variant then. So Genasi. Let's see. Fire Genasi. Dominant trait is reach to the blaze, which is the ability to create a ball of fire in your hand and throw it at people.
Oh.
And their recessive trait is +1 to intelligence, dark vision, and resistance to fire.
Intelligence, dark vision, and resistance to fire.
Do you want to drop a Punnett square? Maybe that's too intense. No, yeah.
Yeah, not on the podcast.
No. Oh, okay. Later.
You do that. I'll do that
later.
another time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but this is I don't know, man. This is like one of the coolest things I found.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody,
I think usually the answer is, nah, they can't. They don't do it.
Yeah, like, oh, they're not compatible, but why not?
So what do they do with like half elf there? Like it, because that's one of the normal races.
That
they
is
just
true.
go like, hey, don't use that and just use our thing. Because that's fine. Like I would go for that. I would accept that as the answer.
Yeah, half elf isn't even listed on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because it's an alphabetical order.
Yeah.
And it is not.
I would oh my god, I'd love to trace out the Punnett squares for like multiple generations. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know you would.
Ah, God. I'm gonna find the most broken thing though. It's like gonna be able to fly and get like 2 skills and also have proficiency in all instruments. And it'll have the talons. I know they're recessive. It's gonna have them.
Yeah, right. I don't know why that's so funny.
This is the full D&D humanoid genome project right here.
Basically,
yeah, man.
I mean, like tabaxi, tiefling, all tieflings from all different kind. Because tieflings can come from any of the leaders of the 9 hells. Mm-hmm. It lists all of them.
Ooh. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, literally everything. Even wow. Oh, okay. It has like an extra note about plane touched races like tieflings and genasi. Mm-hmm. And Aasimar, meaning they lend their abilities to a plane other than the prime material. While these 3 are generally depicted as having human base, you can apply the racial traits to any race by taking either tiefling, genasi, or Aasimar and changing the size and speed as appropriate. For example, if you want to make a halfling Aasimar, just take Aasimar race and change the size from medium to small and the speed from 30 to 25. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's not even, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, though? That is interesting because Tiefling and Genasi and Aasimar they're listed as a race, but they're not really.
No, they're just like people who done got messed up.
Yeah. They're like humans.
Yeah, they're just people who, they were born a little different.
Yeah,
and by that I mean touched by an abyssal entity.
Yeah, the world just did it to them, you know?
Not an abyssal one, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah. Actually, that's another thing that I found that was really cool was, so tieflings are variants from the 9 hells, right? Mm-hmm. I found one that was a way to do that same thing, but with the demon lords of the abyss.
There you go.
Which is cool. And you'll be seeing those people in the campaign.
That makes sense. Yeah. This campaign that you're running does seem to have something to do with the abyss. I can't tell what yet.
I'm not sure. Was it Made in? I've never actually seen that one. Have you seen Made in the Abyss?
No.
No, I haven't either. Cool. So
so that one I am super psyched for and might be spending all of my free time on for a little while here.
Yeah.
I come up with it.
Cuttlefish Warrior, props, man. Like really cool. Or lady. I don't know who you are, but.
And we never will.
Maybe.
Rest in peace, Cuttlefish Warrior.
My heart goes out to the fallen.
My heart goes out to the fawns as well.
You talking about that episode of Family Guy?
What?
Wait. Did you just say that?
Yeah.
That's an episode of Family Guy.
What?
Yeah, where Peter is like, I'm going to make my own religion, and then he makes the something of the fawns, and they all quote the fawns and do fawn stuff.
I don't think I've ever seen a whole episode of Family Guy
as the church.
So, congratulations, me. I guess I'll make Family Guy too.
You are.
I'm gonna go get started on it, guys.
You're not missing out by not watching.
I've heard there's like a lot of good stuff. I don't know.
There is, but you have to dig for it often because there's a lot of stuff that's just not funny. There is a lot of stuff that is funny, but there's a lot of stuff that just isn't funny. One of my favorite things is Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man Warehouse and Emporium.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I can say that faster. Hi, I'm Al Harrington from Al Harrington's at Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man and Emporium. Wow, Warehouse and Emporium. I messed up. I used to be pretty fast at that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I do kind of remember that.
Yeah, Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man Warehouse and Emporium.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just, every
better.
time I hear it, I'm like, Wacky Flailing Man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wacky Tube Flailing Man. Tube Flailing, Wacky Flailing Tube Inflatable Arm Warehouse.
Yeah. Al Harrington is definitely the name of a guy who would own a warehouse and emporium of Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man. Yeah. You look inquisitive.
I feel like I've seen that name somewhere in real life before.
Al Harrington?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll think about it.
Sure.
Maybe he's a plumber or something. I've seen it on a car. I feel like that's what it is.
Possibly. Maybe there's an Al Harrington plumbing around here. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know. We'll never know. Dude, I gotta go make some homebrew. Oh my God. Well, because now I want to like figure out what kind of things can you give to a martial artist monk like subclass that's straight up like no key involved, but yeah, you use key points, but that you just use them to use more physical attacks basically, or different physical attacks.
Right. Yeah.
You
It's
know?
nothing.
And obviously you can just steal all the maneuvers from the battle master as one part of that. But I feel like there's more. I feel like there's stuff like joint locks or something like that where you can restrain somebody and then cause damage each turn until they get out of it, or until you decide to like break the joint or something.
Or you can grapple someone but have your hands free.
Yeah. Yeah. You can hold them down like with your, just by getting on top of them.
Yeah. Or like
whatever.
omoplata or something.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Mhm.
So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or grapple them and have one hand free, at least stuff like that.
Right.
Or grapple them and just not even use your hands to do it. And you're just grappling them by, no, there's not really a way to do that in martial arts. I guess you could just tie yourself to that.
How many key points for the flying triangle?
I mean, I guess maybe one.
Just one?
Yeah. But yeah, you have to roll to hit, and they have to, I don't know, do some kind of save. See, that's the thing. Like, there could be more intricate rules with it, more intricate things with like like specific technical stuff.
Yeah, like, yeah,
right,
yeah,
yeah, right,
right,
yeah,
yeah,
right.
All right.
I don't know what to call it there. I still don't know how long this episode's been.
I don't know either, but yeah, well, yeah, we can do it. It could be a shorter one if it's not.
Yeah. Oh, update.
Oh, yeah.
As of recording this,
okay.
Still working on this special thing.
Oh, yes.
That special episode of the campaign that I'm running with Matt.
Mm-hmm.
But also, as of recording this, that's kind of what the rest of my day is scheduled for. Right now. And I also have time scheduled tomorrow. Well, I have to edit this episode as well. So that'll happen at some point in there. But yeah, most of my day is dedicated to that. So hopefully it comes out real nice. I got something. I'm going to show and tell.
Oh, yeah. You're going to show him. He's really excited about his thing that he got. It's pretty cool, I'll say.
I got a keyboard.
He got a like MIDI.
I got a keyboard,
MIDI
MIDI controller here. This one's the Akai MPK Mini, but like, whatever. It's good. It's good. The velocity sensitivity isn't the best, but like also it was like $100. So whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's
It's too sensitive sometimes, and you hit a note and it'll be like, "Wah!" It'll just go nuts on you. So you just have to be very gentle, but you can adjust the sensitivity settings on here and in the software that you use and figure out like what's good for you. It just won't be as expressive maybe as another instrument, but it's got drum pads. It's got cool stuff. I'm making music for the campaign that we're running, and maybe even for this podcast. I mean, that's not going to happen too soon, but cool stuff. I'm excited for it. Hopefully I figure out how to actually do that. I'm
rooting for you.
I am 100% an amateur at producing music, but I'm gonna just figure it out, guys. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, and it's super fun to play around with it. Like I've used it a little bit now, like with the synth software and stuff. And oh my God, it's a good time.
He really, really tried to get it to work for this episode up until I reminded him that we wouldn't be able to hear it
yes.
during the show. So
while we were recording, yes, we won't be because we don't hear the audio that we're making. So basically, I would just be playing random whatever.
Right.
Which is what I was going to do anyway.
Yeah, right. So,
but I don't want it to be too annoying either, because I'd probably end up like tapping on the drum pads by accident sometimes.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. You wouldn't even notice that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Though it would be a separate. I mean, that would be a separate audio file, wouldn't it? Or would it be on the same one?
It would go to the same track the way it's set up right now. I can set it up to go to separate tracks in the future, and I'm going to try to do that. But
that would be good.
Yeah, but today it's all set to go on one track. Hey, if you guys want some behind the scenes stuff on how we set all this crazy stuff up, let me know. We can make a video on that sometime.
Sure enough, I have absolutely no idea.
Me neither. We found that out the painfully hard way today.
It only took like what, hour and a half, 2 hours, to
something like that.
Figure it out today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, at least.
Oh boy. Well.
Okay,
that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all we got.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, but
like a week,
and also a week from now.
Yeah, it'll be a week from now.
It'll be a week from now. Yeah.
God, I already miss you. Please don't hang out. It's reflecting off the garage.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing some Garage Reflection is a great band name, by the way.
It kind of is. It's kind of an amazing band name. We are Garage Reflection.
1, 2, 3, 4.